Hello folks, welcome to Saving Miller. So I've wanted to do this for a while. I want to look back at where we've been and where we are today. What has Saving Miller done in the last year? So a lot has changed here. We moved here in May, but really the first few months were just working around the farm and trying to get it ready. So on September 28th is really when the farm started. Before that it was just a house with some land and a lot of grass. Well, the biggest change is this little guy you see over here. Of course, this little man has really changed things around here, and he came a year ago too. We can tell what he wants to do. He's been very curious about the tractor, and he's had some rides. And he has a little tractor of his own, and he loves machines and tractors and things like that. I think he has to grow a little bit more.
I like that.
Yeah, you like the tractor too? So today, I took the tractor to our neighborhood cleanup day and chipped a whole bunch of wood. And to give you an idea, I didn't actually expect that this was going to happen, but we've put a lot of hours on this machine over the last year. It has an hour meter on it, and I got this a year ago too. 45 hours I put on this thing. And so I just got a new set of blades. I put them in here, so maybe a few of you are actually interested. You can see the blade here. I have to sharpen these about every 7 or 8 hours because they'll dull and then it doesn't chip as well. And so that's why I have it torn apart a little bit. Come here, little man. Another huge change is my shop here. So you guys have seen bits and pieces of it. We've got the CNC here. It's up and functional. I've got the planer and the joiner over there. They're good to go. They're on wheels, so I can put them where I need them to be. I've got the dust collection system functioning. I still want to run some piping. And as far as the remaining projects here in the shop, I've got one, and I'll make a video about this build that I have on the table over there right now. And then I need to build a cutting bench for the miter saw. I don't really want it set up like that at all. It just doesn't function well for a shop environment like this. And so that's really sort of the last two big things that I have to do here. You can see we walked by this. I got the dust collector set up here, and I have the air compressor in place. The compressor runs just fine. Unfortunately, after I got this whole thing put together, I discovered the tank has a leak in the bottom, basically rusted a hole in it. So now I've got to get a new tank. What we're going to do in the future is add a wall here and a sunscreen on this to protect it from the sun and make a nicer visual barrier. So here on the farm, we lost a tree here. We have one tree in the orchard, and then we have 9 other trees that we planted around the house. We are going to add more trees in the orchard. We just simply have not had time to get them. So if we talk about animals, you probably know we've got 3 steers, and they're spread out here for some reason. This is the oldest one, and so we harvested this year our first steer. So he was here for almost exactly 11 months and 1 week, just eating grass. So we have been very, very, very pleased with the results of the beef. So let's actually take a look at what that looks like. My future office, current crack house here, is still a mess, but it's actually been a very useful place for us. So if we're talking about beef, we still have about 3/4 of a beef. We got rid of 1/4. We sold that to a good friend. So this is about a half. This is close to half a beef. So that is where one steer went. And then we also, in terms of meat, we've got quite a few chickens and a few ducks left. And so this year on this farm, we, as amateurs, we've not done this before really. I mean, maybe as kids, you know, we had some exposure to it. But we literally started this farm a year ago, and we produced 650 pounds of meat. This is pasture raised. The steers are grass fed. The chickens eat top-notch, soy-free, organic food. We're getting a dozen eggs a day from our flock. And we put right around 50 chickens and ducks in the freezer. I think we did 8 ducks total and 40 some chickens. So we literally did that in a year. I built these coops. The one coop we have for the meat birds, so it's sort of resting right now. It'll get back into action before too long. And then the 2 coops out here, the duck coop works well, and the chicken coop works quite well too. It's probably its biggest Achilles heel is the wheels. I always have flat tires on there. Now the gardens, I built 6 beds for us, but in the past year we've actually built somewhere around 70 beds for other people. So that's kept me busy, but it also helps to bring in some farm income. We've got some upcoming projects that are going to be really interesting. That's sort of a long-term one. We are growing our chicken flock with a new breed, and I believe we have a video of that, right? And so right now they're just little chicks. They're scratching in the grass here and learning to be proper chickens. So we're going to grow them and try a better kind of meat bird. That's the goal for the white chicks. And then we've got 2 of the cream leg bar hens to grow that flock just a little bit. We were going to have a rooster, but those chicks didn't make it. Back here on the farm, you know, we took this this area here that's going to be the orchard. We took it and lowered it, took about 8 inches of bad dirt out of there, down to the native clay, and then we put wood chips and some stuff in, not too much, but we planted this cover crop, and it didn't do too much until we brought the ducks in here. We brought the ducks in and we rotated them, basically moved their coop over every spot here in the orchard, and they brought the fertility and brought it to life. And then the cows have been grazing it too. I bring them in every now and then. I have to manage it carefully that they don't get too much of the clover and alfalfa, but they come and they mow this down. So they were just in here. So it's actually coming along well, and I'm very pleased in general with how that turned out. Now, another big change, this little puppy right here. So she's definitely a puppy. What is she? Almost 10 weeks old now. And she's a lot of fun, full of energy, very sharp little puppy teeth, and needs a lot of training, of course. But it's been quite interesting. You know, she's kind of she's a breed I haven't worked with before. And so the way that she behaves is different. During the day, she does nothing. She sleeps. But morning and evening, she wants to be out. She wants to be moving around and playing and chewing on feet. So, yeah, it's been a lot. This summer, we went through the hottest summer on record. Yeah. We went through the hottest summer on record, and we had 70 animals here until the beginning of September, when we started harvesting some of them. Here, let's not do that. So that's what Saving Miller has been up to over the last year. And so I want to put a call out. If you think that you want to start your own homestead and get into farming and do your own thing, you can do it. there's enough information out there. You know, we try to be informative about how we're doing things, the techniques we're using, and the way to go about starting things. You know, like we talked about the orchard and some things like that. You can do it too. Like, this is very, very achievable for a lot of people, and I would encourage you. I know I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, how do you do it?" Well, you just do it one day at a time. Well, my day did not go as planned. Our air conditioner broke again, and I had planned to do work in my shop. You know, I really wanted to get that stand done, but I wasn't able to get that done. But it's fine. I mean, this is how things are on a farm. Yes, you gotta stay busy. You gotta keep after it, and there's a lot to do. There's never going to be enough time, but we have very limited resources, just like anyone else. We don't have unlimited time or money or anywhere close to that. We have to carefully budget those things, and so you know, you can do it too. It's not so bad, and it's incredibly rewarding. We don't buy any meat anymore. We literally have all the meat we need. So we raised 650 pounds, but we did also put about 130 pounds of pork in the freezer. We bought the pig and had it butchered, so I don't necessarily count that one. It wasn't ideal, but it gave us a good supply of pork, which is great. I didn't even mention the garden, but we got bushels of cucumbers. We got a couple of watermelons. We have, I don't know, gallons of peppers now. The peppers are just producing like crazy. We grew our own cabbage and made our own sauerkraut. What else did we make? We did some tomato stuff. The tomatoes were just not very successful, and I think it's because we had all these other things going on at the wrong times when we should have been focused on the tomatoes. And so over the next year, I really hope that we can do better with our gardening. It's been, you know, okay, and it's been quite productive. Oh, we got a lot of carrots too. But there's a lot more potential. Like, actually, right where I'm standing, I think we'll put some garden beds in, some lower ones for plants that we don't need to touch quite as much. Maybe corn or something like that, or maybe beans. Something that's raised a little bit and protected, but still raised a little bit so we can keep the gophers out. That's a battle that we're currently fighting and losing. So, like I said, that's what we've been up to over the last year. You can do it too. If you if you want advice, there's plenty there. We're happy to share, you know, more details about our experiences. Leave a comment if there's something you're curious about or would like us to talk about in the videos. And definitely hit the like button if you don't mind. That helps us out. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we've got to go take care of a kid. So Saving Miller's out.